So just before Christmas, the president signed into law what is called the Budget Act of 2019, which actually went into effect on January 1st. Along with this Budget Act, which heavily funded the military, there were other things that were sneaked into this bill, which of course had nothing to do with the Budget Act, but they're part of the bill anyways. The first one was moving the minimum age to begin smoking from 18, I guess it was, to 21. The other was a bill that we had followed for some time, but in the last minute it was kind of snuck again into the Budget Act, which is called the Secure Act, which is a lot of changes and a lot of provisions dealing with retirement. Now, there's some minor changes here and there, but I'm going to talk about four of the major changes that were actually implemented with this bill, with this act, the Secure Act. Now, this is, there's a segment of the retirees population that this is not going to affect too much, but there's at least going forward with newly retired and people that are getting ready to retire, this affects them, okay? And it's part of their retirement. As a matter of fact, there is a number of clients that we did planning for last year, 2019, that we have to kind of go back and change a portion of their plans for this new law that went into effect January 1st. And some of it is positive in some ways, and some of it is negative in some ways. The first provision that is part of the Secure Act is what's called now annuities are allowed inside of 401ks. Now, this is a positive in a sense because I've talked to you several times and I understand the benefits of annuities, and they're very beneficial, especially in your retirement, of what they can do. However, most investors know nothing about their 401ks and know a lot less about annuities. And employers are awful at providing education for their employees and their 401k. So as you can see, this doesn't have a very good mix, even though probably the intent was good, but I can see where this has the possibility of just being a disaster into the future as retirees try to do their own annuities, and it can get messy. Another one is an important one is there is no more 70 and a half required minimum distribution. Nobody really understood what 70 and a half was. It was always very confusing, especially your first required minimum distribution. But now it's no longer 70 and a half. It's age 72. So they've given you at least another year and a half to begin those distributions. However, if you started your distributions in 2019, you got to keep going. All right. It's for those that were going to start their distribution in 2020. Number three, now you can still contribute to an IRA no matter what age. Of course, as long as you have earned income, and an earned income is work income, okay? So before 70 and a half was the last age or the maximum age you can contribute to an IRA. Now that has been expanded, so you can continue to work and take required minimum distributions, and then take your work income and put it into an IRA. So as long as you have earned income, there is no maximum age now as which you can contribute. And now the fourth one is one that was often used and is going to cost a lot for folks. Is what was called the stretch IRA, and this was a big one. This allowed actually non-spouse beneficiaries to lengthen the distribution of their parents, IRA, or an IRA that they inherited. So instead of having to cash in the IRA, they were able to take income out over their lifespan. And this was an amazing benefit because this actually allowed you to take an income, and at the same time, this IRA would continue to grow over your life and would be worth a lot more, and allow you to keep more of your money and pay less taxes. However, the the act put a kibosh to that and said no more of this. And now, if you are in a non-spouse and you inherit an IRA, you have to cash it out over a 10-year span. So this is going to cause some taxes. This is going to cause some pain to some folks who inherited, especially large IRAs. So now there is more planning probably than ever before, especially with the whole Secure Act. I think from the standpoint of planning, the Roth conversion and the use of a Roth IRA or the Roth component in the plan, especially when the ability to stretch out or your required minimum distribution is not 70 and a half anymore, 72. This gives you a lot more time to plan and leverage off the conversion of using Roth conversions. So with that being said, if you have any questions in reference to Secure Act, how it impacts you, how to maximize the opportunities in it, which is something that we're going to be looking at as well. You know, obviously this just came out, so it sort of has to hit and then probably needs to be massaged a little bit. But we're here to explain to you the Secure Act and how it's going to affect you and how it's going to help you. So with that being said, I'll see you next time on Financial QB TV.